And the only true wisdom is in knowing you know nothing. And I've certainly learned that this week. And I'll keep learning. And brother's just like, shut up. Chatting balls and shit. Yeah.
I'll sit and watch your car burn with the fire that you started. A little time and some tenderness. You'll never find my love.
What up, guys? It's the second podcast. So, we've come a long way in a week, literally. Can't understand how I got here, but I got here. My last podcast was the first ever on this channel, and I explained to you a bit about how I got there, what led me to that. Before I even knew I would start a YouTube channel where I would get some of the skills I use today every day on YouTube, and to make this podcast, of course. Of course, it started with vlogging a long time ago. Well, like a year ago, so. But yeah, it started at uni, as you know. You know the story, go back and watch the podcast, or the clip of that part from that podcast. And my latest vlog, of course, from that Champions League game last week. So, it's been busy. Still uploading vlogs, like I promised you guys. So, yeah, don't be moaning, because you're still getting the best of both. Well, I hope you are anyway. I hope you're enjoying all these videos. This is so weird for me, but I've got a lot to talk about on this podcast today. And of course, you know, I'm going to be speaking in Italian as well, so I'm going to have to repeat a lot of it. But that's part of the channel now, and I hope you guys understand. And if that is the case, and as that is the case, skip forward a bit if you don't want to listen to me in Italian. If you do, by all means, learn a new language. It's better than knowing one, I'll be honest. I think it's one of them things, like in life, everyone wants to know another language. And for me, just to be lucky enough to speak another language without having actually gone to school to learn it, that's the strange thing. I mean, at home, our parents probably taught me Italian in that way, just talking Italian to me around the house. Grandparents, all that, all the family I have that speak Italian, they all do. Most of them. So it's normal for me. It's not like I learned a second language as such. It's kind of with me always. It's nothing new to me, but to a lot of people, to just get up and learn a new language is difficult. I understand that. I did try to learn Spanish. As similar as that is to Italian, I didn't get anywhere with that. Had that app called Bubble, where you have to pay like ridiculous amount a month just to fill out some questions in a different language, or try to anyway, like match the pictures to the words. I mean, what the hell? Like, how is that going to teach you a language? You need to go there and experience it. Like, I understand Italian because I've been there so many times. It's part of me, so it's different. It's different to like just suddenly learning a new language. And as you can see, I'm in a different place in my house. Better lighting, I think, I hope. I don't know, I'm trying to keep this more like a conversation, not so structured. But I got a lot to talk about today, guys. And I'm going to be checking if this is still recording at all times, like right now. And I've moved the mic just to well, I hope me moving the mic has improved the sound somehow. Because I did order like a lapel mic, but no luck with that, it's just not working. Just saying that in Italian. But anyway, here we are. Second podcast ever. And I want to start with a phrase. It's by Socrates. So, the only true wisdom is in knowing you know nothing. Think about that for a second. So, people in life always try to seek knowledge, right, of whatever it is they're doing. and they get to a point where they think, alright, I know it all, so I'm the expert, you know. There can never be any improvement made here. But to get to that stage, that's not right, is it? To get to a stage where you think, where you believe in yourself that you cannot go any further with whatever it is you're doing, it doesn't make any sense. Because there's always more to learn. And this phrase is, that's what it's trying to say. It's trying to tell you that that's knowledge. Knowing that there's more to know, basically. And in what I'm doing, that's really important because my brother's here too. Trying to do a podcast. Oh, hell. Anyway, guys. The only true wisdom is in knowing you know nothing. Just let that sink in for a minute while I'm being interrupted again. But yeah, guys. Just, I don't know. So whatever it is you're doing, you got to know that there's more to learn, and there's other ways to learn things that maybe you don't agree with, but you've got to seek that knowledge. I think that's the thing. Like a lot of people, they learn what they think they need to know, and that's it. But it's the actual wanting to learn that people forget. Like you have to want to learn. And I'm certainly trying to do that in this trade. With these podcasts, I want to get the best out of it, but the more podcasts I make, the better I'll learn. And there's a famous Casey Neistat vlog that I watch always when I'm not feeling that creative. It's all about finishing what you start, and I made a vlog called that, all about, well his actual video is called Always Be Closing, but I made a video about that, explaining the whole thing and what it means to me, really, because to a lot of people, I guess, it's quite important to finish what you start. In many jobs it is, but what Casey meant in his way of thinking is that when he makes videos, he used to make movies and he wouldn't make that many because he wanted to be perfect. So it took a lot of time to perfect the videos he made. And it's not like they came out perfect. They came out good, yeah, sure. But he spent ages working on them. And he wouldn't make that many films for that reason. And then when he started YouTube, he was uploading every day, a video every day. And doing that is like there's longevity in that. With what he does, because, you know, yeah, not every video is going to be perfect, but the more you make, the more you're going to learn, and you're going to develop and hone your skills to another level. But don't assume that when you get there, you're going to know everything. Don't assume you're going to know everything. But that's part of life. So I'm learning that, and today I want to explain more about that. Hopefully you can think about that as I'm talking through this video, but there's a lot to cover today. We're just getting started, and I better actually start before it's like 6 at night. But yeah, so time for me is now 4. I'm going to talk for about, I don't know how long I'm going to talk, to be honest. But yeah, I want to start with RIP to Stan Lee, because that was yesterday. I found out he was 95, the creator of Marvel, co-creator of Marvel. All the comic books that you know and love, all the Marvel movies you know and love, just so many, you know, X-Men, Spider-Man, so many, Avengers, all those Avengers characters, X-Men, I probably said that already. Spider-Man is what did it for me, like the first Spider-Man movies with whatever the actor's name is, or what's his name? I don't know. Anyway, you know the one. I forget his name, but yeah, the original Spider-Man movies. As a kid, they inspired me a lot from a young age. I would have been like, what, 10, 12, something like that. Anyway, they were the ones that really, I mean, now it's like so many Marvel movies to choose from. Every young person or kid has a different character they're obsessed with. I mean, the Avengers are good, all the Avengers movies. I've probably seen every Marvel movie. Venom I saw recently, but yeah, there's so many characters that he created over the years in comic book and then on the big screen, and I loved his cameos in every movie, because without them, would many people really know what he looked like? No, but you can put a face to a name, and much more than that to many people. A legend. I've seen a lot of Facebook statuses, people just distraught because it's like part of their childhood gone, and I feel like that too. It's just hard to believe, like such a household thing, Marvel, you know, all the movies. Iron Man, of course, big movie. That was the first of this Avengers franchise, and that was a favourite of mine too, I've got to say. X-Men has been around a long time, so Wolverine, you know, all their movies. So there's a lot of actors affected by this loss, because it's a big loss for like movies, and me being a movie buff and like being in front of the camera most of my days. It's I'm saying the same thing over and over again, but it's it's weird. 95. He looked good for his age, I'll be honest. All those cameos were funny as hell. But yeah, let me actually check what I've actually got written down there. Probably want to know what I'm actually going to be saying. So I'm going to start with like last week. I'm talking about last week's video. There was a lot that went into it and a lot that I need to improve. And like I said earlier, you never stop learning, so here we go. I got a list here. I'll just do one by one, I guess. So the sound wasn't good enough. So yeah, like I explained. So yeah, the lighting wasn't good either. I mean, that's why I've moved to the lounge, to be honest. Because my room, I was relying on daylight from the window, it wasn't really working. It might work on a brighter day, but today I'm using the lounge and the lights in here, which should work better. I feel it might. The sound, I don't know if it's going to echo more here or what. And the camera issues really don't help, do they? Not at all. But I'm still grateful to you guys, because you still watched it, all 25 of you. That doesn't sound like much, but to me it is at this point. And looking back in the future, I'm going to be like, wow, come a long way. And yeah, there was a risk doing it in 2 languages. It's still difficult and it's still a risk. But I got so many views, so worth taking that risk. There's so many people that want to hear this in both languages. So here we are. And yeah, so the Finish What You Start vlog, it was about one of Casey's vlogs called Always Be Closing, based on the movie quote with Alec Baldwin. I can't remember what film. But that's the way you want to be in life, really. Oh yeah, with a little help from Casey Neistat I, will explain it I'm going to explain about finishing and I made a vlog explaining that vlog.
Today's vlog is going to be dedicated. I also have to get up at 5:30 in the morning. But I didn't shoot a vlog today, I didn't shoot a video, which is fine, taking days off is fine, but I shot this morning, which meant I started something. So if I didn't do a vlog today, it would have meant starting something and not finishing something. And in my book, that's not okay.
But yeah, so it does relate to my podcast really, because a lot of videos I haven't been happy with, but I've still got them out there in the end, one way or another. But yeah, Stanley, going back to Stanley, I've got a quote that I'm going to read out. So R.I.P. Stanley. Yeah, so guys, I've got a quote by Stanley that I wanted to tell you about earlier. I used to be embarrassed because I was just a comic book writer, while other people were building bridges or going to medical careers. And then I began to realise entertainment is one of the most important things in people's lives. Without it, they might go off the deep end. I feel that if you're able to entertain, you're able to do a good thing. true. And you believe that in the end. So with me, I've always had, every now and then I get a doubt about what I'm doing with this channel. But then I remember that, like, I'm entertaining people, whether it's my family or or friends, or you guys. Most of you falling in those categories at the moment. Yeah, I mean, I feel like I'm entertaining, so that's a contribution to society, whether, right, it's not being a doctor or whatever that means, or like other jobs that people call proper jobs, even though I would consider this a proper job nowadays. Entertainment is a proper job, so don't know why you'd say otherwise. But yeah, from the point of view of Marvel, R.I.P. Stan Lee, you legend. He was 95, absolute legend. Got a poster of Marvel in my room. I see that every day. It reminds me, you know, you can actually, you know, entertain. Why not? And then I want to talk about Jim Carrey. Now, yeah, he made an acceptance speech at the Britannia Awards, and I was trying to explain this in Italian, but I couldn't even get there.
Turned it into art. Exquisite, timeless, healing art. Very few people know that the Tramp character's funny walk was because he had worn through the soles of his shoes. He was in pain.
So Jim Carrey got a new award. It was at the Britannia Awards, but it was the speech that got to me. He made a speech, and he was talking all about Trump and like things that have gone on nowadays. It was just before the midterms, I think. So he was talking about his film initially, and it was about Charlie Chaplin and what he did.
Trying to stay off his feet. You know, without empathy like that, this character would never have existed. Without empathy, we won't either.
What he stood for, and the hardships he went through to get to where he was, to that, like, even though he was making movies, like they said, the funny walk was because he had blisters on his feet because he couldn't afford new shoes. You know, and he was saying this, and he led on to talk about Trump and what's going on today and how he doesn't agree with it, and how we've lost something along the way. He's having to go at the whole "Make America Great Again," as if he can remember when it was. You know, he's saying, you know, can't remember it being this great. Anyway, it's a really interesting speech. He gets all emotional, but he makes a good point. And he's back, but he's gone mad. He's, in a good way, he's gone mad, but amazing to see him still doing it, top of his game. Obviously, he's more serious with his roles now, but the comedy is always there. He was really serious with what he was saying, but he tried to keep a smile on his face. Yeah, guys, see you tomorrow, or in a few seconds. This is really cheating on the podcast, I'm sorry. But I'll be back tomorrow, don't worry. Hey, what's up, guys? Let me get in the perfect position. Testing, can you hear me? Alright, I've got a mic in a bit. How are you doing, guys? How's the vlog going so far? Podcast. Guys, yeah, so I had a little mishap yesterday. Everyone turned up from work or their work day right at the time I started the vlog, the video, whatever you call it. And then, yeah, I couldn't finish it. I lost focus completely. But yeah, it's a podcast, so no editing involved, really. I'm trying to keep it at a minimal, just keep it flowing. But yeah, yesterday I was trying to explain that, what I said about Stan Lee, the quote I used from him that he used in the past about his career. I wanted to use that again, but I'm going to explain it in Italian. Of course, my idea for the podcast is to do in both languages. Whether I'm going to do it as one episode or not, I don't know. Or separate, just the same thing but in Italian. Because I am practically repeating myself.
We are proud individual.
Watching the music videos. Paolo Nutini, Scottish, and a very good singer. singer-songwriter. Many songs over the years. If you're not familiar with Paolo Nutini, well, I'm quite surprised, to be honest. I mean, all the singer-songwriters today probably got some of their ideas from him, but he's very unique, I would say. Not many with that type of voice. Like, you would think, I heard him at first, I thought it was Otis Redding or someone, you know. But a lot of Scottish singers do get that voice. You know, Rod Stewart, he's got that voice that sounds like he's literally gasping for a glass of water, and he needs a proper, you know, sore throat medicine or something. What he needs is a chamomile tea, and Paolo Nutini is similar to that. I mean, I've got many favourite songs of his. I've got a list of them. Jenny, Don't Be Hasty, that was an early one for him. When he was young. One of his early songs. Probably one of the first ones I might have heard. No, Candy is the first one I ever heard. So hearing that, it was like, what is this guy on? But he's legendary at the same time. At first I wasn't a huge fan. Then slowly I did. Then for a while it kind of got annoying. Then I was really annoyed when my brother went to see him in concert without me. That peed me off big time. I've seen a lot of concerts, but that one I would have loved to go to, but I didn't. And here we are. Really after that, even though I hadn't seen him live, I became a bigger fan. So Iron Sky on the more recent album, his last album literally, his most recent. It's still a long time, I say recent, 2014. So Iron Sky, One Day was on there too. Better Man, Screamer was on that album, I think that came out before, which is also a good song. One Day, Better Man as well, is a bit slower. Some of them are upbeat, some of them aren't. Some of them just downright funny, because that's the way he writes songs. No Other Way, I think that's an earlier one. That's from one of his early albums, These Streets, I think. Don't quote me on it. Never quote me on this stuff. Literally, I kid you not, I will get it wrong and you'll believe it, and then we'll be in trouble. But yeah, Paolo Nutini, he's been quiet. I've seen a few of his live stuff on YouTube recently. I mean, that's weird with YouTube. Whenever you watch a video, it'll come back to your channel at some point. Like, it'll be on your homepage, like you know, the bit where you can jump into stuff you've viewed in the past or liked videos. It always does that, and it puts you back in that moment. It's like deja vu. Something that happened more in the past on YouTube. You go like in a sinkhole, like the black hole of YouTube. You know, just watch random video after video. They'll recommend you video after video, and then you end up watching cats jumping off of tables and people screaming at stop signs. I don't know. I should really put my phone on silent. No. So, Paolo Nutini, I'm a big fan, just so you know. So many songs that I've listed as my favourites. You don't get that a lot, but with him, yeah. It's funny. So go and watch some of his music. Some of his acoustic versions of his songs. He did a few cover versions of other songs. I Would Rather Go Blind, that's a good cover. He's done a few. So check them out too, if you would like, of course. If you know about him already, you'd be like, oh, you're telling me what I already know. So I'd also want to talk about Lenny Kravitz, another great singer. Been around a bit longer, fair bit longer, and famous for a lot of songs. You know, Are You Gonna Go My Way, Fly Away. Is it Fly Away? Something like that. Anyway, it was on Grand Theft Auto San Andreas back in the day. If you well, some of you might not even. No, everyone's played that game. No one's too young to have not played that. Anyway, Lenny Kravitz, Low is his latest song. It's been out for a while. I think I mentioned it before. There's 3 music videos. One of them with him playing the drums, which is a good one. And then one of like his childhood and him growing up. And then a new one of him like performing it live in his studio, I think, or a studio. And like when he was making it. It's kind of like a music video. So I saw that, and then that just reminded me I better talk about that. You know, update you guys on what's going on in the world this is a music review, of course, but it all stems from YouTube, because I'm addicted to YouTube. So yeah, go and check out Lenny Kravitz's latest, and his older stuff. He's got many. I mean, he is a rock artist, I would say. Fairly good on the guitar, fairly good on the drums too, which I never would have thought. The drums, obviously that voice, another croaky voice if you like, a bit like Paolo Nutini's in that sense, but higher, I think a higher pitch. What do I know about singing? I've done a few covers on here, and I look back and just cringe. This bloody phone, I got to silence this phone, guys, because it's not fair on you guys. And yeah, the other day I was reminded of Avril Lavigne, because my cousin is a big fan, big Avril Lavigne fan, or twin if you like. So yeah, she reminded me. So when I watched one of her videos, was it Complicated? Avril Lavigne, that's like another era altogether. A lot of you will be too, well, some of you will be too young to remember that, the younger viewers, or you just be going mad. And no, my cousin asked me like, who you prefer, Britney Spears or Avril Lavigne? I was like, well, when it comes to voice, probably Avril Lavigne. And I said, obviously, the typical thing a boy would say, like, looking at them both, a lot of lads would have preferred Britney Spears. Not, I don't know, as a singer, I don't know. If you think about the music videos, but Avril Lavigne was a legend. Like, the music videos were good too, in a different way. Anyway, you know what I'm getting at, boys. Alright, Avril Lavigne. Yeah, that was old school. That's proper old school, isn't it? Like Green Day, that era, like when Green Day were popular. That kind of indie rock pop. Whatever you call it. I think that's what you call it, indie. Obviously indie, yeah. And I want to talk a bit about Billie Eilish. Billie Eilish being one of my favourite singers of today. Great voice for her age, only 16. I've got a full video, but I might have to edit it or even delete it and re-upload it or something, because I'm having issues on my channel with the copyright in general, like with AdSense. Yeah, get a load of this, guys. I know I'm meant to be talking about Billie Eilish, but I wanted to talk about this first. So AdSense, you need to monetize your channel on YouTube, and I did have it ready for when I get enough views and subscriptions, but it got blocked a few weeks back, maybe 3 or 4 weeks back. I did tell you in the video, probably would. Well, anyway, moving on, it was like, so AdSense is what you need to monetize your videos, I believe anyway, and I can't do that anymore since my channel got like provisionally blocked, well, from monetization anyway, so I couldn't monetize any videos, and that says it's something to do with the clicks, not enough clicks on the videos, or something like that. Which is quite funny, because I would have thought I'd have enough by now. And I do from you guys, so. But that is 20 minutes. I'm back. So yeah, AdSense. Because of that, I can't monetize my channel at the moment, because I tried to renew it and apply again, but it won't let me at the moment. I had an email back from them. Typical, isn't it? So AdSense is really annoying me. The more I think about it, the more it actually annoys me. And let me actually read to you the email they sent me. So after I reapplied for AdSense, don't even really know what it means, but it's obviously to do with ads. So thanks for the additional information provided in your appeal. We appreciate your continued interest in the AdSense program. After thoroughly reviewing your account data and taking back into consideration, our specialist have confirmed that we were unable to reinstate your AdSense account. Bastards. If you would like more details on our invalid activity policies or blah blah blah, whatever. As a further reminder, further participation in AdSense program by publishers whose accounts have been disabled is not permitted. Now my account hasn't been disabled as such, so whether it's just a random thing they always say, yeah, so hopefully I can sort that out and actually make money off this when I get more views, you know. That's the idea, you know. I mean, that's not fair, really, the way YouTube works. Really not at all. But anyway, don't let that ruin your day, or my day. I won't let it ruin my day. So yeah, Billie Eilish, I've been watching the latest video. It's already been out for a while. When the party's over, so she's just sitting in a chair, drinks this like blue liquid of some kind, and then like starts crying with the same liquid coming from her eyes, which is weird. And then at the end, it's like this, she explodes like in like a mess of blue paint, basically, which is it's a really strange idea. I don't get it, to be honest, but I understand the creativity that's maybe gone into it at the time. I don't know, her videos are very aesthetically pleasing. You see it and you appreciate that side of it. You know, the science gone into it and all that. But simplicity at the same time. But it's effectiveness. And when you're a fan of an artist, I mean, either way you've got to watch the video, whatever it is. But this one does freak me out. It freaks me out, and I literally, I don't know. It's not normal. It's not a normal video for sure. It's well made in its own way, unique. But no, not one of my favourites. Why you want to ruin your face with blue paint? You know what I mean? Anyway, we'll see what comes up next in the world of music. But yeah, go and watch that video anyway. See what you think of it. It's not all about me. Okay, football this week. Wow, what a week of football it's been, guys. From Ronaldo's volley to United actually winning that game, to City versus United, which I'm going to talk about as well at the end, to the Spurs game, which was a 1-0 victory over Palace, which was a nightmare, to Inter Milan winning 5-0 last weekend, to this weekend where they lost 4-1. Ridiculous. Tottenham midweek did alright. Had a 3-2 win against Wolves too. Well, the PSV game was last week. But yeah. And yeah, Palace was just about won that. So yeah, Tottenham, they won 3-2 in the end against Wolves last week. And then we had the Palace game, and that was a 1-0. So it was an improvement for João Foyth, because he scored the winner and he was man of the match. So if the guy's man of the match after being the reason we conceded to in the Wolves game in some way, well, for one of the penalties, it's a big improvement, and it's good for his confidence. And he was shaky at the beginning of the game. So yeah, Inter drew Barcelona midweek, probably why they were so tired by the weekend, losing 4-1 to Atalanta in the end. But so, in the Barcelona game, midweek, Inter Milan, they went a goal down by Malcolm's goal, his first ever for Barcelona. It had to be against Inter, didn't it? And then Inter got one back with Icardi, I think. Who else? Even in the game they lost on the weekend 4-1, he did score the only goal that we scored. They scored. It's my other team, yes, I know this. And also, there was a 1-1 draw between Napoli and PSG. Buffon made many saves for PSG. I always forget that he's gone there now. It's funny, because you only associate him with Juve, really, and Italy, of course. He gave away a penalty though, so he's not where he used to be. Well, any keeper can do that. These days we know what the refs are like. And then Liverpool lost 2-0. Well, hey, this is old news now pretty much for most of you, because now we're on the international break. So Liverpool lose 2-0 against Red Star. Shaqiri wasn't allowed to go because of some sign he made against the Serbian fans at the World Cup. I'm not going to get into politics. But yeah, he plays for Switzerland. He's originally from Kosovo, I believe. And there's a lot of political stuff between those countries. So yeah, let's not get into that too much. So after beating Atletico 4-0 in the first leg, Dortmund went and lost 2-0 in the second leg to Atletico Madrid. Doesn't really change much. But yeah, Dortmund are an exciting team to watch. Atletico seem to have made a comeback out of nowhere. Of course, Ronaldo with that goal for United the other day, that was against United, sorry. You know, that must have been amazing for him. An amazing goal on the volley. You'd think at that point Juve are going to go on and win this. But then United had other ideas. Fellaini comes on, Juan Mata comes on. Juan Mata's brought on for his crossing ability. Fellaini to finish it. But what happens? They win a free kick. Juan Mata buries it, doesn't he? What a free kick that was. And for me, being at my Italian team, Inter, I was really glad that they punished Juve like that. And then they got the winner around the end. Bonucci off his face in the goal. Laughing at him because he's a traitor as well to Inter Milan. He left Juve, went to Milan, then came back. So he just can't make his mind up. But of course, a legend for Italy. But I was laughing at that, and then of course the Mourinho reaction after the way the Juve fans insulted him. He's just like, what? What's that? Can't hear you. That's the best response though. And now everyone's doing this Mourinho challenge for the same reason of, you know, in life it's one of them things, isn't it? In football it's like karma. It's like, yeah, you can say what you want, but it's what you do on the pitch. That's what he meant, yeah, and you admit he reacted badly. But to be honest, I probably would have done something similar if someone's offending your family and other clubs you've been at in the past for the whole 90 minutes. They were saying son of a bitch and things like that, which you don't want to hear. Well, you do hear worse at a football match. Me being a Spurs fan, I've heard it all, so. But still, his reaction was just typical classic Mourinho character that he is. Not in a nice way, but it's the old Mourinho we like. You know, it's exciting to watch. It's not just him being all depressed. Okay, so Juan Mata needs to take a bow for that goal though. Don't think anyone expected that. And then City won 6-1 or 6-0. Jesus scored a hat-trick. He chipped the keeper on one of them. And then of course on the weekend was United versus City. That was a 3-1 win for City in the end. But that second goal from Aguero, just amazing. Like that angle to score is typical of him. I like his new haircut too. That haircut might have helped him score. You never know. But I did predict a 2-2 draw on that game. And it was 3-1, so it could have gone that way. At one point it was 2-1. United only had a penalty. Martial, who else is going to score? He's really playing well for them at the moment. And yeah, on the weekend, Juventus played Milan. They beat Milan 2-0. Another big game. And yeah, that's all I've got on football this week. There'll be more talking points, I'm sure, during the international games. So stay tuned for them. And do enjoy. Okay, so moving on to the YouTube gossip, YouTube news, the community news. There's a lot going on because PewDiePie made it. He actually got, what was it, 69? Something like 69 million subscribers. The 69 is his next target. For however many 6-9s there are. I don't know how many digits he's on about here, but yeah. 69 something. Anyway, he's a favourite of mine. I haven't watched his videos for a while, till I heard about this and I got back on some of the videos recently. He was analysing Dr. Phil again. One of them kids that thinks they're a race that they're obviously not. And that's a crazy one. That's a crazy situation. But I want to talk more about PewDiePie getting to this. I mean, he's in a lot of trouble with the whole cancelling of his show, Scare PewDiePie, which it wasn't that fair, to be honest. I mean, all he did was, yeah, he was a bit racial and made a Nazi comment as well and something. And he said a word he shouldn't have on a live stream. But he didn't do what Logan Paul did, but he still got his show cancelled, which is unfair. I mean, look at Logan, that show, the movie, The Finning still came out. Maybe 10 months late, but it came out nonetheless. So why ban PewDiePie? I mean, he's an honest guy and he apologised honestly. He just suffers a lot. I mean, when you're at the top of the game, you're going to suffer, you're going to get criticism, you're going to get people trying to bring you down. We've seen it in so many different walks of life, sport, you know. Especially like when you're in the public eye. On YouTube, that happens nowadays. But yeah, he made a rap song called Bitch Lasagna. And it's terrible. But it's so terribly good in his way. Such a meaning of life, and like his current situation against another YouTuber that he's trying to compete with for subscribers, and he has got more T-series or something. I don't know, I'm not in the current loop of PewDiePie, because week by week he gets a new bit of banter in, a new meme, something that carries on throughout the episodes. So it's hard to like continuously react because he makes so many videos. So this is late, this is definitely late on my reaction for that. So yeah, this rap song is, I can't even remember, I saw it like last week. Anyway, check that out if you can bear it. I mean, the sunglasses he wears are just ridiculous. I don't know why people even like them. But yeah, I want to move on to the Shane Dawson series, the Jake Paul series. I mean, I was going to talk a lot more about this, but some exciting news just happened recently that Jake Paul split up with his girlfriend Erica Costello, so probably because of that documentary. I don't know if it is entirely the fault of that documentary, because they're both in the documentary, and obviously that was in September now, so since then a lot's happened. I haven't been too involved in the Jake Paul videos recently, but yeah, I kind of knew it would happen. I mean, Logan had the same thing with his. I didn't think they'd break up though, but they did. Even with the Jake Paul, like, she made him who he was. No, I mean, stopped him being who he was in some ways, but he still was. And she couldn't change him, and that's always the mistake people make, thinking they can change someone when they're just in their DNA to not have a good relationship with anyone they know. Jake and Logan, in that way. I mean, I love them both. I'm fans in different ways of theirs, but I don't know the details, and I don't want to get into it because there's no point. But in Jake's case, he did get with another girl apparently after that, and that's not right. But of course, if you're broken up, you're broken up, whether it's for YouTube or not. I mean, she said a lot of things about him, and she thought she could help him, and for a long time she was, but clearly not enough. And it's not criticism of him or her, it's just they can't seem to keep it together. Even with Team 10, all these people he's falling out with. So he's a difficult person to be around all the time. And she mentioned a lot of the issues within the Team 10 house with that situation, and whether you follow it or not. Basically, Jake Paul is a huge YouTuber. He gets other people who are coming up in the world of YouTube and puts them on his Team 10 and gets half their money, basically. No, this is not 100% accurate what I'm saying, but that's basically along those lines. And they all live in one house, and Jake can basically do what he wants in terms of pranks and videos, and you have to be involved in a certain amount of his and things like that. How it is exactly, I don't know, but basically they're employed by him, but he's helping them on their own platforms of social media. So in a way, he's actually doing good, but a lot of people are falling out with him over it, and within Team 10 are left, and they get new people, basically. It doesn't feel like it used to. But yeah, both Logan and Jake Paul can't maintain a relationship. But I'm still too happy for PewDiePie. Like his reaction video to him reaching that target. Target is not really a target, is it? He'll just carry on getting subscribers, but yeah, someone's been sharing his videos, like someone's been getting other people to subscribe to get him to that number, because it was like a mission he gave the fans to get him to that number, to 6'9". And I want to get on to 368, Casey Neistat's channel, his vlog, in a bit of detail. I'm not going to get proper like in depth because he's made loads of videos since then, but there is one video he made about a Navy SEAL that I want you to watch. That's one of his more recent ones. And of course, at the beginning I mentioned his whole always be closing video, the finish what you start video I made about that, because that's basically what he's trying to say. You got to finish what you start, and you know, whenever you do anything, 80% of the work is the editing and stuff. With the, like when it comes to videos, 80% is the editing, 20% is the filming and the going out and planning and all that. So it's a lot that goes into the editing, more than you realise. So yeah, I think my voice is back. Need to drink chamomile tea, like Paolo-Nutini. Bloody hell. So as I was saying, 368 Casey Neistat, his vlog, if you call it that. Well, I don't know what it is, just unique, too unique. He's made a lot of videos, as always, so I can't really react to one in particular, but I've always watched his videos as a form of motivation, and especially this army video with this army guy who has a regime for like life, for like
so they're just sitting there. It's almost like an insult not to take them. But when you've already gotten up early, you had the discipline there, you already worked out, you had the discipline there, and now you see the box of donuts, you're like, no, I'm not going to eat the donuts. No donuts. You're not going to do it. And that discipline carries on throughout the day. So now you take that and you expand that out over a week and a month, and you end up with more discipline. And it starts with that simple act of getting up and getting out of bed in the morning.
Discipline starts every day when the first alarm clock goes off in the morning. I say first alarm clock because I have 3. The moment the alarm goes off is the first test. It sets the tone for the rest of the day. The test is not a complex one. When the alarm goes off, do you get up out of bed or do you lie there in comfort and fall back asleep? If you
getting up early and looking after yourself and going to the gym and all this, because in life obviously your body is your most valuable tool, so you've got to look after the whole thing. If you want it to work, that is. There's a lot that goes into that. I mean, I'll get into that later on because I've been watching a lot of like health podcasts and stuff. Podcasts in general to give me ideas, but there's one called Impact Theory, and this is nothing to do with Casey Neistat, but it is about health and looking after yourself and being organised around that side of your life, your sleep patterns, things like that. Because your sleep is really important. They say between 10 PM, 2 AM is the best time to sleep. Doesn't work for everyone and you've got to plan around it, but you know, they're saying people have to want to change, and very much going back to this Casey video, that's what it's about. It's about that willpower to change, to get out of the normal like unhealthy side of life where you just give in to everything. Just
if they're in business, they blame the market or they blame their competitors. If they're personal life, they blame their family, they blame their parents, they blame everyone else, and they never look at themselves and say, you know what, maybe it's not this is my fault, but what can I do about it?
in the army guy's case, you know, just say, oh fine, I'll eat this and I'll eat this even if it's not healthy, just because it's easier, you know. I'll get up late and I'll not work out or something. But yeah, there's a lot to take in that video. But in general, the whole feel when you watch a Casey vlog is that you've got to be doing something in your life, whether it's perfect or not, or it's, you know, not what you want to be doing at that moment. It's still working towards something and making the world a better place. And that's what I'm trying to do in some ways. And whether this AdSense blocks my channel or not, I don't care. I'm still making videos. I will find a way to get through it. Whether I make money from YouTube or not, I don't really care that much. I mean, I want to make you guys happy, and there'll be a way. I mean, this podcast is the way in. It's the way forward. And I do a lot of vlogs, but no one can ever make them like Casey. And I'm not saying I try to, but try to inspire others in some way. That having a difficult day, or just entertain you in some way, or give you something to think about, you know, something I'm saying. Hopefully, I want to keep it like a real discussion. That I don't want to just read what I got here. But Casey Neistat did take a break for a while, and I missed him. We all did, but it's the birth of his second kid, Georgie. So he's a busy man, he's a family man. So for that as well, respect, because it's not easy always being a family guy. Pardon the pun. But you know, it's not easy being Peter Griffin. on a daily basis, keeping it all together. Not everyone does it to that level, and it's not like anyone's perfected it. Like with life, there's no way of knowing everything. I mean, it's the journey, isn't it? It's the learning of stuff that's important, and he doesn't get everything right, but he gets it on. He's on the right page, and that's the main thing. And also Dan Mace is another YouTube creator who you should follow. Congrats to him who proposed to his girlfriend. So Dan Mace, he's been a friend of Casey for a while, and he's featured in his vlogs, helped him edit a lot of them on 368 anyway. Give perspective, and he puts it in perspective really well. He's a human being with a normal story. Well, no one's got a normal story, but he's got a great story with relatable things, mistakes, ups and downs, like we've all been there in some ways. I mean, he makes videos about different things in life. He made one about anxiety, which you wouldn't think he had, but he does. And I had a lot of respect for him after that, because it takes guts to talk about something that you're struggling with. I mean, it's always better, but even me, you know, to an extent, I'm quite honest. But you think about your impact on others when you say something, whatever it is, you know, trying to steer away from the negative. But when it comes to joking, I'll probably take that too far, but who doesn't? But anyway, Dan Mace, yeah, we miss you. Come back to New York. And yeah, this podcast feels a bit shorter than the other one, but we've got enough in it. We've got enough. If my voice will allow me. This is terrible. This is terrible. So Dan, come back, please. Casey, welcome back. And PewDiePie, congrats. Now, I think I've covered everything. I mean, yep. So far, anyway. I think I'm doing pretty well with the organisation of this. And there's a lot of final thoughts I want to mention. Okay. So this week, I've realised what it is to make a podcast in some ways. For me, anyway. I had this AdSense issue. So that's been today, actually. More than any other day. That's been a more recent issue. So Nottingham this weekend. I'm going to be going up there, so I'm getting ready for that. Trying to stay fit, you know. Get a good night's sleep here and there. Eat well, you know, because on the weekend we've got a lot of games. And 2-hour drive up to Nottingham on Saturday. For me, there's a game in the morning that I'm missing because it's just too much to get there. 2-hour drive at 7 a.m. I get up at 5 to get there for 8:30 kickoff. 8:30 speed test, and then kick off at 9. So I'm missing that game, sadly. I really wanted to be there. I love the sport, it's part of my life. Would kill for this sport. Well, that... what the hell? Just like, okay, he's a murderer now. No. But I'm seeing my chair in the background over there. It's just primed and ready. And you enjoy that vlog when it comes out. It'll be late, of course, because by the time I do it, I would have got back from Nottingham. Probably by Tuesday I'll start editing. And we're on Wednesday this week, so that's me talking so far in advance. But the podcast in the future might change to just one main subject, not all this gossip so much. But we'll need an area to start the conversation, you know. Something to set me off on a rant and a rave. And it might not be the same, it'll be different, but yeah, be entertaining in different. It won't be the same thing each week. It won't be the same area of whatever. Hopefully, and I want to do it separately, like one in Italian, one in English, which will vary slightly, but because of the language, like when you translate words, they change, and I'm after wording in a different way. But yeah, I'll be doing the podcast in both languages, because when I film it, of course, I'm changing between English and Italian, but I can easily make that into 2 separate videos for the podcast. It'll be effort, but it's worth the effort. Like I've said, all my fans that want to hear me in both languages. So yeah. In addition, to what I got so far, I think that'd be good. If I keep doing the vlogs in between. But I've realised how different it is from doing a vlog. Because when you make a vlog, you know, you start your day, you film a bit, and, you know, throughout the day, or you film a certain part of the day, and then the next day, and then you edit it after that, you know, or you do it over a couple of days, and then that's it. But a podcast is just straight out planning. I've spent probably a week planning this, getting bits here and there, noticing different things to add that I've seen in the news, things like that, which helps to build a conversation. So there's more going into the planning. You spend more doing that, and then from there you get in front of a camera and just talk, pretty much. And not really a script. I've got is bullet points, just to keep me on topic, because I just go on random rants. Well, I'll develop more of that as we go more. But you know, one of my mates said you spoke for an hour, so well done. Over an hour. I was like, me, an hour? That's nothing. Could talk till the cows come home about utter rubbish or something serious. But yeah, like at home, like any conversation, I take it too far. Just get proper passionate about subjects that maybe don't need that much passion, and vice versa, you know. And brother's just like, shut up, chatting balls and shit. Yeah. As he says, you know, he's always swearing in there. We love good banter. But I do realise the difference. A vlog will just mess around. It's messing around sometimes. But I still want to... The aim is to give a good message at the end of it. Or entertain you, make you laugh in some way. You know, resonate with you in some way. Good or bad. Well, depends what I'm talking about. And I've developed the reaction videos. I've started to do that more, which took me over to podcasting. And whether you can professionally say I do podcasting or not, doesn't matter, because for me I do. And this is a podcast, so if I'm already good enough in front of a camera, why not? Why not? I mean, I've had a lot of practice. I don't get shy in front of a camera. Why would I? Because I feel honest enough with what I'm saying. There's no BS here. I hope you can understand that. Of course, private life is private life. So many times on the channel I've been criticised by close family for like saying too much stuff that doesn't concern anyone else, that I don't even need to mention. But yeah, it's the art of drawing a line. And I hope you understand that too. You probably all realise that. I mean, it's the same with Instagram or anything like that. I have two Instagrams, the one for the channel and my normal one. It does cross over a lot of the times because it's a reflection of me. Both of them are in slightly different ways. And it's not easy to keep up, but I do. And every time I upload a vlog, I mention it on the Instagram, and it's a really good way. But whether it works with the podcast, I hope so. It's a different kind of audience, I think. So thank you for a lot of you who watch no matter what. Because I know what it means to you and how proud you are of me doing this, if you know me personally. And there's always a bit of banter in it, like how's the videos going, you know. I'm always making videos, it's part of my life. It's my job in some ways. And I enjoy it, I love it, to be honest. Whether there's AdSense involved or not. It's part of life, and I don't know any other way now. And if someone said tomorrow, you can't make YouTube videos. Like, what? If there was a reason I couldn't, I would still make videos in some way. Some form or another. Podcasts are easier because it's just audio in some cases. But here we are, and the only true wisdom is in knowing you know nothing. And I've certainly learned that this week. And I'll keep learning that, and keep that in mind, guys. I've got a few other Socrates quotes that I've seen over the week that made me think, you know. Like, always be kind, you know. Well, that's not the exact quote, but it's like, always be kind because you don't know what battles other people are fighting. And that goes for everyday life. I mean, so I try to help you guys on the channel. I don't know what everyone's going through, obviously, but I can entertain you in some ways, or you can resonate with something I'm talking about. I hope you can. Anyway, guys, I love you guys, and this is another podcast done. So thank you. This is it from me in English anyway. Take it easy, fam. Peace, and see you on the next video. Ciao belli. Oh yeah, take it easy, fam. Peace.